Good evening, happy weekend, and happy weekend. Once again, you are welcome to another episode of Ground Zero. This is the GIS session for the Ground Zero program. Once again, I would like to welcome you all again for the. This is our third meeting. We started 3 weeks ago, and here we are. This is our third meeting. Congratulations for making it this far, and I hope you all keep it up. And as usual, we'll do our normal sound checks. So I hope you can hear me. And if you can hear me, type just type in the chat box and let me know if you can hear me. And I believe you can. I believe you can hear me. Or if you can't, just let me know so I can know what to do. So welcome once again. This is our third meeting, and today's meeting is going to be quite brief. I don't really want to be as intense because the main aim is for understanding and like simple digestion of whatever we learn. So it's not so it's like it's quality over quantity here. So the point is like we all get the basics and understand the fundamentals of whatever we are going to do. So it's not about how long or how far we go, but how well we go through the process of imparting that knowledge. So once again, I'd like to welcome you all. My name is Victor James, and this is our meeting for this week. Today we are going to go into as you can see from the title, this week we are going to be talking about and this week's episode is going to be practical. We are going to like it's going to be filled with activities. We are going to do less talking, and although I'll be talking, I'll be guiding you through the process, but like we're not going to deal with theory like as much. So it's going to be visual. Like you're going to be seeing me carrying out whatever I am going to do. So without wasting much time, this is we're going to deal with cartography for this week. So what is cartography? Like I said in the first week, like whatever we are going to do in GIS is going to um, end up in a map. Like the end result of whatever we do will end up in a map because that is the best way to convey our message. Yeah, so to convey our message is best to like we do that on a map, and like the act of actually making these maps is called cartography, and that's what we are going to do today. We're going to try as much as possible to um make something, make a map, and make a map and show you as much as possible like as I can for today. Like I said, today's class is going to be brief. So cartography is like just it's simply the arts and science or art of map making or using maps generally. That's just so cartography is just all about maps, map making. That's what cartography is. But like I said, the end result of every GIS activity or analysis is a map. So it's not just about making a map, It's about making the right map or doing the map in the right way. So that's what cartography is all about, like the way and manner, like pardon my um, tautology, but like the way you make that map is like the approach you take, the methods you use, the tools you use, how you use them, everything falls under the umbrella of cartography. So that's just simply what cartography is. So um, the other processes or whatever, like before we make maps, we have to like go through certain stages. The first stage of map making or cartography has to do with um, data collection, because for a GIS analysis, you have to actually work with data. So that's like the first stage. For every analysis, generally, you have to collect data. So it's also the same for cartography. You collect data. So you collect the data. You can, and in this, when it comes to cartography, it comes in different forms. You collect data in form of pictures, like satellite images. You collect data in form of coordinates. You collect data in form of maps, other pre-prepared maps too. Is another way of um, collecting data, and other forms of collecting data too, like GPS and all that. So the first stage is actually collecting the data. Then the second stage is processing this data. So processing this data is the second stage. And processing the data now will have to do with either cleaning, transforming in the form that like in the form of preparing this, like prepare, because like there's a difference between cleaning and transformation. Like cleaning has to do with like making sure that the data you collected is ready, or is accurate enough for analysis. But now transformation has to do with like making this data suit the specific purpose for this analysis, like making it like map ready, if I may say. So that's the second stage of cartography. So you collect the data, then you process this data. So now after processing this data, now you can go forward to start making your maps. So for today, I'm going to we're going to be using the software for the program, which is QGIS. So like you can see on the screen now, what's showing is the QGIS user interface. So when you open your QGIS software on your laptop, this is the first thing you see. First thing you see is this page. Not um I don't know. Open let me close this page and but yeah, let me just close this page and reopen it, so that, because I don't think this is the first thing you see. This isn't the first thing you see. So let me open this QGIS. So this is this is the first thing you see. It sets up the graphic user interface, and it opens up And when it opens up, you have to like open a new project. So that's what I want to do. So I want to like show you the whole process from the start to finish. So just let's just give it a brief moment. Okay, so this is the first thing you see, although not a blank page. So when you open your QGIS, this is the first, like this is what you see first. So on this side, you are going to see previously opened or created projects. So for me now, this is like the last project I worked on, but this is not what we are going to work on. So for the purpose of this class, we are going to create a blank project, a new project, by clicking on this side of the screen and double clicking it. Double clicking it now will now get you to this page. Now, what will be the next thing to do? This is the next thing for me to do now is to show you, to explain the whole interface for you. So what you are seeing on your screen now is like the main user interface. On the left side of the screen, you have the left side and the right side by default. You have what we call panels. They can be turned off, they can be closed and opened, reopened, but by default, this is what you have. You have the browser panel, and the browser panel is where you like it's like the browser is where you can access different files from different interfaces, different channels. You can access files from the computer itself by going through um, the home browser. You can using you can check different drives also, depending on the number of drives on your own computer. But this is the main place that we're going to work with. Then on this side, this is the layers panel. So when you start working on your map, this is where the layers, the different layers that you are going to work on is going to show. Then on this side, we have the processing toolbox panel. This is like the panel that gives you the options. Or this is where like this is like the collection of the tools that you are going to use. So like it's literally a toolbox. It's not really literally a toolbox, but like this is a soft copy of a toolbox. So it's a toolbox. This is where the tools, the different tools you use are going to be. So this is where you access it. And if you don't know where to get them, you you can simply search, and if it's there, it's going to show. But for now, we're not going to use this. So I'm just simply showing you, and these are the um, ribbons for the QGIS software. So you have the project ribbon. This is where you can open new projects. You can open projects with a template. I have no templates created um, before, so that's why I can't see any templates. But you can create new projects. You can open files. If I want to open a file now, I can just simply click on this open, and I can access the file through my File Explorer. Then I can save, I can check properties, I can import, I can open a new print layout. This is like the last phase of the map making. Then you have the edit, you have the view, the layer, the plugins, the settings, like different ribbons. And these are toolbars. These are different toolbars. And just like the panels, they can also be turned on and off. But as you go forward, you learn more about them. It's like you learn them as you use them. So I wouldn't want to like explain every one of them one after the other because we are trying to manage our time. So for this class, I'm going to um, show you. Um, we're going to talk about what a base map is. A base map. Now, a base map is like a already prepared map that you base your work on. Like let's say for example now I want to map the different um, like maybe I want to map different points in a specific area and I will want to get a context of that place without actually create because I've not been to the place before. I don't have a map or and I want to create a map based on that place. So in order to and I want to like set points, different points on that place on a map. But I can't just do that from the scratch. So in order to do that, you have to get a base map. There are different ways of getting a base map. You can get a base map by getting a hard copy of an already prepared map on paper. Maybe you can scan it and like import it into QGIS, or you can use Google Earth. Okay, like in the last class, for some of you who attended the last class, we briefly used Google Earth to like when I was explaining projections, we used Google Earth. So you can take a screenshot of an image using Google Earth and use that as a base map for your like for example, let me open Google Earth. Google Earth Pro. So for example now, because I have no context of the area, and let's say for example I want to place different items on specific spots in the Gidan Kwano campus of the Federal University of Technology, Minna. I can simply do that by using Google Earth. By zooming in, I can just use Google Earth now and let's say zoom into let's say Federal University of Technology. Let's try this. So after searching now, this is our results. It automatically zooms into the Federal University of Technology, Minna. So I want to use the Gidan Kwano campus. So I just simply double click on this and it takes me to Gidan Kwano campus. Okay, so now this is a satellite image of the Gidan Kwano campus. Don't mind the box. I drew that like beforehand. So but like that's the main purpose. Like you can simply do things like that. You can like create a boundary of what you want to map. So for example, now I want to map different points on the Kano campus. I can simply just take a screenshot of this, yeah, of this image and import it into QGIS. If you can see the interface of this Google Earth app, on the lower right corner, you can see, like if you hover your cursor around different points, you can see that the coordinates change, and you can also get elevation. Elevation now is like uh, the height of any, like of the surface of the earth above sea level. That's elevation. So you can also get that from Google Earth. So you can get the longitude, you can get the latitude on Google Earth. So like I said now, going back to base maps, I can simply take a screenshot of this image by clicking on file and save. If I click on save, I hover around and click on save image. Clicking on save image now will take me to um, where I can simply save this image. So I can just simply save this image by clicking on save, and you can save it as Gideon Kwan. So we just saved it. We can simply close it. We don't have use for Google Earth for now. So base maps, I just got a base map now, and I can import it. So in order to import it now, I will have to, yeah, I'll have to use the, okay, I'll have to use this layer, add layer. So I'll go to the layer ribbon, click on add layer, or I can just simply use data source manager so that I can simply go to the specific folder. So clicking on data source manager, I can simply go to home, go to, because I think I saved the file and documents. I'm trying to find the folder. Can't even, let me, I guess I'll have to find, I have to use Google Earth to like get where. I'm trying to remember where I saved it to, but I can't. So I guess I'll have to try and save another image so that I can get like the specific place or the specific path to where I saved it. So I can simply just do this, and So I think this is where I saved it. Yeah, so I saved it on my downloads folder. So I can go here and click on downloads and just simply locate it. Your own path can be different because it depends on where you saved it to. So I saved mine here. So I can simply just double click on that image because this is where I saved it, and it will simply show here. But the issue with now this brings us to the next phase of this our class. This is a base map, but the issue with this base map is we can't, like, it is not accurate because it is just like as long as for all the software cares, it is just an image. It has no reference. It is not accurate. If you check this side of your screen, you can see that the coordinates you see here are not accurate. So in order to make them accurate, what I mean by accurate is if you go to these points physically and use your GPS or your phone to check the coordinates of this place, it is not going to show. If you check this, if you check this side of your screen now, the coordinates, the coordinate is not going to be 88 degrees and minus 126 degrees longitude or latitude. It is not going to be that. The reason why it is not going to be that is because it has not been georeferenced. So now what is georeferencing? Georeferencing now is actually is the act of like giving an image a spatial reference. Like it's just like a way of telling the software like this particular point is on a map, or this particular point on this image is so 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 place on a map or in real life. Like this is the correct coordinates. This particular point, this is where it is. Like you're just trying to like make the software understand like where places are specifically in terms of coordinates. So like this is going to help the software understand where these places are in real life, because for this software now this is just a JPEG image. But for this to make in order to make the software understand that these are actually places, and this is like Gidan Kwano in real life, you have to give it a spatial reference. And in order to do that now, we do what we call georeferencing. And in order to georeference now, we have to use this. I'm going to use this method in which we are going to use another. You can georeference by simply um, you can manually georeference by simply typing the actual coordinates by saying, like, for example, now I can choose this point and like type the actual coordinates, like where what's the correct coordinate is, and maybe I may choose to use this point and type the actual coordinate. And if I do that, it's like me trying to like introduce the uh, the image to the software and make it understand that this is what this is and this is what that is. And it's going to like the software is going to understand. So we can do this manually, or we can also do this by using another base map that has been georeferenced already. But that's going to be it's in order for you to understand what I want to do, I will have to do it manually. So in order to do that now, I will have to open my Google Earth again. I don't know. I thought I was not going to open this again, but in the end, I'll have to open it again. Okay, so let's go back to our so let's go back and so now if you can check, if you can look at this the top or the lower right corner of your screen, you can see the actual coordinates of the points that I hover around. So this particular point now, you will see that the latitude or it says that it is. So I think we'll have to write it down somewhere, or we can do it in any way. But just the point is to actually take this down. So the latitude is going to be 9.5268. Then the longitude is 6.4418. So that's this point on the map. So now what we're going to now do is to actually tell the software that this particular point, because QGIS doesn't know this, QGIS doesn't know that this is the actual coordinate. That's why it's assuming a particular coordinate that is not accurate. So QGIS doesn't know that. So we are going to tell QGIS that this particular place, this is the coordinates. We'll now come here and say this particular place, this is the coordinates. And if we can do that for a few points, QGIS is going to understand and like yes, and understand that yeah, this is where you're talking about, and you understand. So that's just what is going to happen. It's going to like calculate and predict the other points because you have given it a reference. That's why it is called georeferencing, because you have given it point of references and told it told it that in real life these particular points, um these are the coordinates, these points, these are the coordinates for these points. So you with that those information you can get coordinates for other points. So that's what we're going to do. So we've taken down the coordinates for this particular point, which is what we just took down. So we're going to tell this software, we're going to tell QGIS what coordinates this point is. So in order to do that, we're going to do what we call georeferencing, which is what we're going to do now. So in order to do that, we'll have to go to the layer ribbon again and click on georeferencing. Um, I think I will have to add. So now I have to add the image again and tell it that this is the coordinate. So this is it. So now we're going to tell QGIS that this point is latitude 9.5 and longitude 6.4. So in order to do that now, we click on this and type it. So like I said, this X and Y, longitude and latitude, And the best way to see it is in the form of a graph, x and y. The x um is the line that goes from east to west, while and west to east, and y is the one that goes from north to south and vice versa. And so the longitude now is going to be y, because it goes from north to south and south to north. So the longitude is 9.5268. Then the latitude is 6.4418. And the projection we're going to use is this, the WGS 1984 is a geographic projection. So we now click OK. So we've given this point and it has been recorded. So what we just did now is we simply told QGIS that this point, this is the actual coordinates. So now we're going to do the same thing for this point. You can do for as many points as possible, because like the more points, the more accurate you get. But so for depending on the scale of your map, that's what's going to determine the number of points you use. So for the scale of this map, I'm just going to use 2 points. So I'm also going to get this point. But in order to get this point now, I have to hover here and get the coordinate for this point. So the coordinate for this point now is the longitude is 9.5373. Then the lat yeah, so the latitude for that point is 9.5373. Then the longitude is 6.4559. So we've taken this down also, and so we now tell QGIS what that place is in terms of longitude. So our x, which is uh lat oh, I'm confused. I'm mixing it up also, but like I said, longitude is the lines, that's the ones that the vertical lines, while latitude are the ones that are horizontal. The latitude go from north to south, while the longitude go from east to west. So the longitude now is going to be the one that goes from east to west, which is x. So our x is 6.4559, and our y is 9.5373. So we just did this, and it's okay now. So the next point now is to click on this start georeferencing, this triangle. Click on it and you set an output name. So I'm going to give this, it has given a prepared name already, which is Gidankwano underscore modified. And I'll just simply click on OK, and we are done. Um, Ideally, it's supposed to show. Let me import it again. I guess this didn't save. So let's save it and okay, just give me a few moments. Yeah, so this is so this is our new, we no longer need this, so we remove this. So this is what we need. But the thing is now we are on a page. Well, this is not like this is the actual location of the previous one. But due to the fact that this is not like where it actually is, this is not where Gidan Kwano actually is. That's why we can't find it here. So in order to go to where Gidan Kwano actually is, we have to zoom to where this georeferenced image is. In order to do that, we right click and we click on zoom to layer, and clicking on that, we are here. And if you can see that the coordinates are actually looking accurate. So how do we know that this is accurate? We know that this is accurate by comparing it to another pre-existing base map. And how do we get this? We can get this on the web. But remember, in order to do this, you have to connect your laptop to the internet. So in order to do this, you have to install plugins. So to install plugins, you we go to plugins and you click on manage and install plugins. So you go to the plugins ribbon, manage and install plugins, and the window is supposed to open. And when it opens, you simply search for web services or map services, sorry, quick map services. So you search for quick map services. I already have it installed, but for those of you who don't have it installed, you click on it and you click on install. But for the fact that I have it installed, that's why it is showing reinstall plugin. But I already have it installed, so I no longer need to install it. So for those of you that don't have it installed, you just click on install and it installs. Then after it installs, you go to the web ribbon and click on the web ribbon. Clicking on the web ribbon now, you will see the Quick Map Services plugin, and you hover around it and you click on this OpenStreetMap OSM. Click on OSM standards, and after doing that, now like you can see that it has taken us to the actual point where Gidan Kwano is. Why? Because it is georeferenced to this image. If you can see, can you see that? Like, can you see that it is actually like the same thing? Let me zoom out. To zoom out now, if I zoom out, you see how accurate it is. Although there are other things to do, I it can do better with the accuracy, but you can see what I'm trying to do. Although there's a slight drift, I think we'll have to next time we'll have to add more points to it. So like to boost the accuracy, but you can see that it is almost accurate even with the 2 points that we used. Like it's almost accurate. Like it's almost the same thing because you can see like even this house, this building, I think this should be the mosque, is also here. You can see it. Other smaller buildings are also here. You can see them. So that's just about it for georeferencing. So this is the first step. If you want to make a map or you want to place points on your map, you have to like get a base map, and if you don't want to use the internet base map, which is maybe this open street map, you can get a this is what you do when you get a scanned copy of a map or of a pre-existing map. You have to georeference it, which is what we just did. Now we georeferenced it, we communicated to the software and let it know what points is what points in terms of longitude and latitude, which is what we just did. So this is what you need to do first in order to be very accurate with your cartography. You have to have a georeferenced base map. I hope you all understand. And for in case you have any questions, you can feel free to type your questions in the chat box and let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them to the. So that's just about it. We're going to pause for a bit now in order to answer questions. So if you have any questions, do well to ask them. Because like I said, this class is not supposed to go on for long because I don't want to like bombard you all with like too much information. We're going to take it as um, bit by bit as possible. Okay, so in the absence of no questions, I would like to thank you all for coming to for making it this Saturday. I know some of you were not able to attend due to tests and all that, which is why this space or this live recording is recorded. You can always go back to them and rewatch them. And if you don't understand anything or you don't understand something, you can simply type in the comment section and ask your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. So once again, I would like to thank you all for coming, and we'll see next week. Next week, we are going to still work on this map. We are going to go to the next step by digitizing these points or digitizing what we are seeing on this map. That's what we are going to do next week. And we are going to also create different points, like I said. So that should be what we are going to do next week. So once again, thank you all for coming, and God bless. I hope you enjoy your weekend and sleep tight.